Morning. Thing I'm going to address today is a little tip about how to keep your feet dry and warm. See a lot of interest in this, a lot of questions on Facebook and different forums about asking, what's the best way? How do you keep your feet dry? When it's really cold. If you're deer hunting, turkey hunting, duck hunting, anything like that, everybody's got their own way. This is what I do. It's just kind of found this by accident in a way. My main issue is my feet get cold just like everybody else. But an issue that I was having along with that was the sock. When I'm wearing rubber boots, is the sock rolling down and just being uncomfortable, getting down into my, down below my calf and making the rest of the sock loose to where it's rolling out to the end. It was really aggravating to have to stop and, roll the boot down, pull the boot off, pull the sock up, things like that. It's really aggravating. I pretty much wear rubber boots 80% of the time. It has nothing to do with really keeping scent away or nothing like that. It's just I'm always using water as access, branches, streams, creeks. So if I'm not like climbing high in elevation where there's really not any water and it's rocky, then I'll use my hard sole boots and more of a tighter fit boot, regular boot. But most of the time I'm exclusively running rubber boots. And I like the kind that are snug fitting on the calf. And an issue you have with those a lot of times, and even with the kind of more loose fitting uppers, is they tend to pull the sock down as you move. And I walk a lot, so I've had 3 or 4 different pairs, and they've all done the same thing. They all kind of make the sock that you have underneath just the natural movement of walking kind of pulls the sock down, and you start getting rubbing in here, and it just becomes aggravating, and it's just annoying. And so I found this little hack, I guess you could say, just by pure luck or chance or taking a flyer on it, I guess you could say, and it's worked out really well this entire year. I kind of found it or started doing this sometime in November, and it worked like a charm. I never had cold or aggravating sock issues after I started doing this. And these are dry shod. If anybody's wondering what kind of boot this is, these are dry shod Southland. They're insulated, I think, to like 600 grams or something like that, I think. And these are really comfortable boots, and I highly recommend these if anybody's looking for a lower insulated value rubber boot that you can kind of layer up your socks and get some really good warmth out of it. But back to the issue is the sock rolling down. And what I discovered is, and this is what I'm using now, pretty much every time I do this, I use a soccer sock, basically, made for soccer. These are made to put shin guards under, and you roll them over the shin guard, and they protect. These are my son's. And the cool thing about them is they go way above your calf, and they're like a compression sock. I've got compression socks that are made for hiking and hunting that do not do what these do. They just don't. These are super thin. These are from Adidas. And I like this variety because it's mainly just spandex. It's moisture wicking. It's got some lycra in it. And they snug to your feet and to your calf. And I usually don't run, they go all the way above the knee. I usually don't run them above the knee. I pull them up all the way up to the knee. I roll them just under the knee. And the good thing about these is they never move. They literally, you can walk all day and this sock is going to stay in place. It's not going to roll down. And the cool thing about it is if you put another sock, doesn't matter really any kind. I've tried cotton. This is just a regular old cotton sock that I'm using right now. You put cotton, you put wool, any kind of sock like that on this sock, and it adheres to it. The material, for some reason, once you put the sock to it, it doesn't roll down off the sock. It like adheres to the sock. So I don't have an issue with, once I've got 2 pairs of socks on. This one, I mean, you really got to work on it to get it down. So I never have an issue of this sock rolling down to the bottom and rolling off and getting down here. I've never had that issue. And I usually are running them that are up here, and they're up here. They're in place. So it solved the issue of my sock getting down, and it doubled it. It kind of did multiple things. It solved that problem. It also gave me a moisture wicking layer underneath any other sock that I want to put on. So when it's really cold, I'll put on, I've got 2 or 3 different layers of merino wool socks that I'll put on top of this. Sometimes I'll run cotton if it's not that cold. If it's down in the 40, upper 40s, 50s, you can get by with just a cotton sock. But I always put these on, and then I just put a sock over it. Usually it's a wool sock if it's down in the, low 40s and 30s. If it's down in the 20s, I'll put a little thicker wool sock. If it's down in the low 20s, I'm gonna throw a pair of hot hands, like footbed warmers or something like that in here. I also have some heated, electric heated footbed warmers, and those really work really well, but they can overheat if it's not really, really cold. So it's got to be really, really cold to use one of those. But yeah, this soccer compression sock over the knee, and just a regular pair of wool socks. You pull your pants down into that like you normally would. I tuck them under, and in my foot goes, and once I'm in, I don't have to worry about that sock rolling down anymore. I don't have to, it actually keeps these. Sometimes when I'm walking a lot, the pants will actually work their way up too. That stop that, because the snugness of all that in there, it just holds everything in place. So I don't have all those issues went away with rubber boots that I was having prior to that. And it got to the point where I just didn't want to use them anymore, because it was just an aggravation thing. Because I go out there and I may hunt for an hour or two, and then I'm moving. So I'm moving around and I'm scouting. And walking a lot with rubber boots, I was just having that issue, and this solved that issue. So that's my recommendation. That's my tip for today. Go to a sporting goods store, get you some soccer compression socks, try them out, see if that works for you. Highly recommend it. Again, this is Shane Parker with November Warrior Outdoors. So look my page up. I usually am sharing ideas on map scouting, trail camera usage, hunting strategies, things like that. I cover all the bases for deer and turkey pretty much exclusively. So appreciate y'all looking. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Those are my 2 main avenues. So just look up November Warrior Outdoors, and you can find all the cool things that I try to post on there. I appreciate you guys.